Hey guys, it is Kris Jones for episode 50 of Ask Me Anything. You guys that have been following this series know what that means. We are going to go out of the traditional format of me chatting with you, and I am going to make an announcement right now. For those of you that have been following my Facebook feed, you will know that I have taken an interest in Apple's new TV show called Planet of the Apps. Why did I take such an interest? Well, first of all, I love technology and I love venture capital, but I was cast on a show, and next Tuesday, June 27th, I will be featured on that show, and I want to tell you guys a little bit more about it. So to do that, I've enlisted several of my friends from my very new company called Special Guest App. We have Caitlin over here. Hi, Caitlin.
Hello.
We have the smile guy, Kris here. We have Jackie. We have Lucy.
Yes.
And we have the Robin Jones. So let's see.
Well, tell us more about this show. What is it about?
So Planet of the Apps is a mashup, if you will, for those of you guys that watch popular TV like Shark Tank. It's sort of a mashup of Shark Tank and The Voice. I think what you'll see in my episode is a little bit of Apprentice as well.
Oh.
So with Shark Tank, we literally pitch seasoned, experienced, successful entrepreneurs. Folks like Jessica Alba, who's got a $1 billion plus company called The Honest Company. Gwyneth Paltrow, who has a company called Goop, but everybody knows who Gwyneth is. She's an extraordinarily successful actress and entrepreneur. My good friend and uberly successful entrepreneur, Gary Vaynerchuk. And who doesn't like the Black Eyed Peas? will.i.am. So that's the Shark Tank element, right? That's the Shark Tank element. The Voice is that those judges, if you will, those mentors, pick entrepreneurs based on a pitch, a 60-second escalator pitch, to work with them over a 6 to 8 week period, and to get those teams ready should they select them. There's no guarantee. I am going to be on the beginning of the show. They show that in the trailer. But who knows what happens on the show. But if I make it through the show, I will work with one of those coaches throughout the season of the show. And at the end, you get to pitch a major Tier A venture capital firm with one of the top investors in the world, Jeremy Liu, who just so happened to be the first investor in Snapchat. Anyway, so that's it. And you know, we're going into episode 4. The first 3 episodes have been inspiring. Like, it's brought out, you know, if you're an entrepreneur and you're not watching the show, like, start watching the show. If you dream that maybe you have an idea that could become the next fill in the blank, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Pepper Jam. I found a Pepper Jam. Then, you know, maybe this is a show to watch. But the other thing I'll say is that I think America has fallen in love with shows like Shark Tank. Not because they want to build a business and make millions of dollars, not because they think they're going to be the next Mark Zuckerberg, because it gets at the human condition, the human spirit of opportunity, like the American dream. And with Lucy being my testament, with her enthusiasm, I think that America is ready for more shows like this.
Yeah.
And I think the cast of the show is amazing. And so Kris, the smile guy, that is what the show is all about.
That's exciting. I mean, to be in an arena where you can get instant validation and credibility, and then to possibly be coach throughout a season of a show, that it seems like a really cool concept.
You know what? I've been an entrepreneur for 18 years, and I have never had the extraordinary opportunity of launching a new business via Apple. it just so happens to be the largest company in the world. By getting cast on the show and being on the show, don't want to say too much. Special guest app is going to be featured. It's going to have its own brick within the App Store. It's going to be on the cover of iTunes. I mean, they have, I can't disclose the budget, but I understand that they have a big budget, like a high 8-figure budget for promoting the show. They're running billboards in Times Square. They're showing commercials, which I get a little cameo in from what I hear. During Shark Tank, they did it during the NBA Finals, and for those that are watching that haven't been exposed to the show, you could expect to see it, on traditional TV, at least from a commercial standpoint. But anyway, we could come back to you if you have a question later. Who else wants to ask me a
I'll go. How did you tell everybody about how you got cast on the show?
Good question. What could I disclose? I actually didn't. I don't know how some of the other cast members got cast. One of the casting directors cold called me mid last year. Really cool guy. I was like, actually, and he left a voicemail. He called Epic Mobile Apps, which is one of my startups, and he must have done a little bit of research on my background. He knew that I was involved in founding French Girls app. He knew that I had a role in the world's most famous fart app, iFart, and a bunch of other apps. And so he reached out and he told me more about the show. He had said that they were going across the country doing casting, and that he would be interested in me getting involved. And he originally took an interest in French Girls and some of the other apps that I was doing. And I had said, well, I had started working with an entrepreneur who is a celebrity, and we've got a really cool problem that we're trying to solve. And once I disclosed to him who that celebrity was and the problem that we were solving, remember, this show is like the Netflix of Apple, if you will. So it's Apple's new Netflix binge watch. No worries if you missed the first 3 episodes, because you guys are going to be able to binge them whenever you please. It's a new sort of age of television, I think, as we all realize, and the book has been rewritten how people consume television content. Touchdown is now, through this TV show, Planet of the Apps, playing there. But so he told me this, and I thought to myself, holy cow, this would be the coolest marketing platform ever for me and my partner, my celebrity partner, to launch a business. So yeah, then we, my partner and I, had to do, we put together casting videos. I hope I'm going to have to ask them if I could actually disclose that, because my partner's video is hilarious. And when I disclose in a second who it is, you'll understand why. And then mine was pretty funny. I mean, it was one take. I stood in front of the camera after I talked to this casting director. I was like, I'll do this. Boom. And of course, got cast on the show. Right?
Awesome.
It's really exciting.
All right. Anybody else?
I'll go next.
Okay.
So, your business partner is Damon Wayans Jr. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
So, how did this all happen? Like, this is an OMG?
Who's Damon Wayans Jr.?
Oh, come on.
Oh my gosh, the Wayans family
is
dynasty.
a dynasty. Yeah.
So, the boring answer is that during the time that I was working very closely with the team at French Girls app, I was the investor guy and the mentor who worked closely with their investors, which included singer-actress Christina Milian. Mm-hmm. And Christina and I became really good friends. And her manager, who was totally her bestie, mm-hmm. Lauren Rogers, grew up across the street from the Wayans family.
Wow.
And, I was with Christina and Lauren at a conference that Christina and I were speaking at called the Collision Conference. And Lauren said, hey, I think she said, Kris, you're awesome. You dedicate so much of yourself to making entrepreneurs succeed. I have a friend who has been talking about this idea that he had, and she had recently told him, like, Damon, get off your butt and do the idea. And he said, I I mean, who do I go to? And she said, I have someone that I can trust and someone that I'd like to introduce you to. And so at that point, she didn't even tell me Damon's name. It's like, yeah, you should, sure, introduce me to your friend. And then I find out that it's Damon.
Wow.
That was about a year ago. Damon and I have actually been more clearly working together every single day since. He's become a good friend. He's extraordinarily talented. And he plays a really interesting role in the startup that we've built and we're building, because he grew up around entertainment. I mean, he tells this story of, like, he doesn't know anything but entertainment, right? His dad is Damon Wayans Sr., like one of the most prolific, most admired comedians of all time, like one of the brains behind In Living Color. For those that don't know what In Living Color is, that's like where Jim Carrey, like the famous comedian who went on to be one of the most famous actors ever, where he kind of got his career launch, and J-Lo and a number of other people. But anyway, where was I going with that? So he grew up around it, and he tells a story of when he was a kid, how Jim, like he would wake up in the morning and him and his dad, Jim Carrey and his dad were like sitting in the kitchen having a coffee. So
that's awesome.
Why does that? So Damon's unbelievable. He's incredibly talented. People, you need to tune into the show next Tuesday, because, or go binge it if it's after Tuesday and you're watching this, because Damon is one of the most talented people. I mean, you guys could Google him. He is one of the most sought after actors and entertainers in the world. Like, literally, it's not me saying that. That's what the top brass in Hollywood are saying about him. And he has this entrepreneurial side that he's now able to sort of unleash. And it's been so cool. In a weird way, I mean, it sounds, he's a celebrity, but I have mentored him. And I mean, I have 18 years as a successful entrepreneur. And I think you'll see that in the show next week, that he brings to the table this unbelievable subject matter expertise on the entertainment space, and what the struggles are for entertainers, and how he has been so advantaged. The humbleness of him is extraordinary. I mean, he's managed by William Morris Endeavor, like, okay, like top talent agency in the world. You know, Damon, I talk to him every day, and he's got, I can't disclose it, because people will be watching this that he probably wouldn't want me to, but some of his experiences on a daily, weekly basis in the entertainment space are pretty extraordinary. He's playing at the top of the food chain. And he, Robin will say to me, you're being funny or whatever, and my response, or funnier, if you will, since I've been working with Damon. And here's one of the things I found out about myself growing up around a bit of comedy with my father, is a really funny guy, is when you're around funny people, I don't know if you guys have friends like this, but is there a better personality characteristic to have? It drops your guard. For me, because I grew up around it, not on Damon's level, but I grew up around it, I become funnier. I loosen up. So I'm hoping that for those of you that watch the show, you will see a different side of me. Maybe not in the beginning, because it was like, oh, I'm on reality TV. And then at some point, during like the third taping, I was like, hold on a second, Kris. Don't be nervous. You've been cast on the show not to act, but to be yourself. And then I was like, light bulb, I'm good at that. And then from there on, I'm hoping it plays out in the show. You guys will see me on a daily basis as I'm coaching, entrepreneurs, as I'm building businesses, as I'm, going through those trials and tribulations and trying to end up on the 5% that succeed, not the 95 that don't. So anyway, Damon Wayans.
That's really exciting.
He's a cool guy.
And they say laughter is the best medicine.
Yes.
So
yeah,
sounds like a perfect storm.
Definitely.
He's amazing. Jackie, are you up?
It's me.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit more about the app. What kind of problems are you encountering, and how are you trying to solve them?
So we believe, Damon and I believe, that the cards are stacked against most entertainers. We think that the industry favors managed talent, we think that that's unfortunate because there are many, many more, like an extraordinarily disproportionate amount, like 97% who aren't managed, who are ungodly talented, but they're not getting paid for their talent. And so what happens is there's this theme that's global where talent becomes something of a hobby, not of a career. And isn't that a shame, right? Because my whole platform for entrepreneurship and personal and professional development all come back to us realizing our full potential. And so Special Guest App, the problem that we're solving is we want to make it easy and affordable for anyone, anywhere, to hire live entertainers on demand. What that means is we want to strip out the friction that exists in booking talent. I mean, there are 41 plus million children under the age of 12. Being a mom and a dad, well, I'm not a mom. She's a mom. I'm a dad. But being a dad, I could tell you that it's frustrating. Like, you end up recycling talent. You go to, a friend's house, kid party, and you see a clown that's kind of mediocre or whatever, but it's hard to find talent. So part of what Special Guest does is make discovery dead simple by having an iPhone app, an iOS app, that anyone could download for free and start perusing through talent, discovery. Think about YouTube, think about Instagram, think about Facebook, and that novelty and also excitement of the unknown. Mm-hmm. And so part of what Damon and I wanted to do was make the process of connecting with that 97% of talent that is undiscovered, unmanaged, not getting paid, and first, help them get discovered. Number two, and this is where I step in and I get really juiced up, because from an entrepreneurial standpoint, I like to help people make money, right? And here's what I've found. This is not true for all talent, Lucy. It's not true for all talent, but if you have both artistry and entrepreneurship, your name is Jay-Z. Like, it's a unicorn, a true unicorn type of combination. It's a true, and so what I found and what we found and what Damon has said and what we've found through market research is that those two combinations are tough. Mm-hmm. So what Special Guest does is it becomes your entrepreneurial sort of platform in your pocket if you're an artist. And by the way, one of the cool things about Special Guest is just how many people the app is for. So we've all seen America's Got Talent. Mm-hmm. If you have talent, you need to download Special Guest app and submit a profile, because we want to help you get discovered and we want to help you get paid. And one of the things that we've accomplished with Special Guest is A to Z. All of the friction. And if this was Planet of the Apps, by the way, I'd use the word friction. It's a very popular term. And what they do is they define, because it's a kind of a nerdy show, and we want, everybody wants to understand what we're talking about. All friction means is that technology comes in and makes life easier. It is so brutally difficult for talent to have all those skills. How do you coordinate payment? Who's you gonna give me a contract? Am I gonna get a contract? What are the terms and conditions around cancellation? Mm-hmm. Special Guest is that platform, A to Z. All you do is submit your profile. Vendors, hosts are already there to start booking you and paying you for what you're good at. The other thing I'll say, Jackie, is there's another cause we have here. So, unequivocally, the mission of Special Guest is to make it easy and affordable for anyone, anywhere to hire talent, live entertainment on demand. But we think that there is untapped demand to experience live entertainment in new ways. Think about it. With Airbnb, would you have rented out like your apartment or your house 6 years ago? No, it's absolutely insane, right? And by Airbnb coming in and redefining, number one, how people could make money, but number two, how we could find places to stay all over the world, they've redefined the demand side of travel. who in the million years would have ever thought that you could pull out, again, just like special guest, we are your little pocket assistant, that you could pull out your phone, have a rando stranger pick you up in his or her car, aka Uber, Lyft, and take you to your destination. And you don't have to pull, like, all the payment is in there. You don't even have to talk to the driver, even though most of the drivers are like Chatty Cathy, but whatever. It's cool because here's the thing about Uber and about Airbnb. It's turning the world into entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. We're trying to do that for talent. Great question. Who's next? Lucy. Oh my gosh. Is that it?
Yeah, what? I guess my question would be, with all this friction, as you say, if I was watching the show and saying, wow, I don't know if I'm okay for special guests, you're saying download the app because there's going to be a subcategory for you. Mm-hmm. Because we cater to all types of performers.
Yeah. I mean, Damon and I decided, because we had the choice. One of our advisors, and I got to be careful with what I disclose. You guys watch the show next week, you'll hear what happened. But one of our advisors is a gentleman, a friend of mine, who is the founder of Thumbtack. Thumbtack is a multi-billion-dollar startup that basically enables on-demand professional services. Name the service: carpenter, handy person, live entertainment. But again, he's one of our advisors. What we've decided to do was to really focus on the problem that exists with live entertainers. We want to open up the demand for them so that more of them get paid for what they do. So there are a ton of categories. Actually, if you take our top-level categories and our subcategories, you're absolutely right. If you're into live entertainment, there is a place for you. In your case, for those of you that don't know the Smile Guy, Kris is internet famous. He's also famous for having been a finalist in a contest of a sort of, a talent competition that landed you on the Today Show, where you could break. We should have had a glass, but he could break a glass with his voice. And you guys have to, type in "Smile Guy Today Show" and you'll see his video. Whoa,
it's early in the morning when we're filming.
Look at Lucy didn't even move.
Yeah.
By the way, this video is really good. The content is really great, but we know who is going to end up. People are like, who cares about the Smile Guy and this Chris Jones guy?
Look at this dog.
That's a smile right there.
By the way, her name is Lucy Jones. No. We really focus on live entertainment, but with that said, Damon in particular, being a celebrity and being in the entertainment space, is excited down the road to introduce new categories around, like, one of his ideas is around makeup and kind of getting you ready for the night. And you don't have to be a celebrity. Mm-hmm. Imagine if for $25 or $50 you could pull out Special Guest app and hire someone to come over and do your hair, Caitlin.
That'd be great.
And do your makeup. $25 or $50.
I would take that.
Trust me, there are people out there. But again, Special Guest is we're not there yet. Special Guest is about empowering anyone. And I was saying this to Jackie. We want to redefine how people experience live entertainment. What that means is that we want you to be able to hire live entertainment for a dinner party at your house. We want to be able to hire live entertainment if you're a business owner at your Friday, happy hour, to take it to the next level. One of my startups, will.i.am Technology, that I'm involved with, did that last week, and you guys were there. Yeah. You got to experience a band that none of us have ever seen, that totally crushed it, right?
Yeah, they were awesome.
And so it cost Scott Steiner from will.i.am Technologies a couple $100 to get 3 hours of live entertainment, and it totally took that experience to the next level.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have an anniversary coming up with a significant other and you have a favorite song and you go to a local restaurant and all of a sudden someone shows up like Kris, who does also sing, and sings that song to your significant other, like, oh, hello, game changer. Not only in terms of experience, but just the novelty of it. And we want to empower that. Remember, it's about making it easier and more affordable. Like, we're coming into this space to disrupt it. You know, like, we're going against the status quo. We don't believe that you need to be managed in order to get discovered and in order to be a professional in your area of talent. Anyway, so what do we here? We're pretty good in. I mean, if we still have any viewers left, do you guys have any remaining questions for me?
I'm all set.
Apple TV, you said, right?
Yes.
June 27th is your episode
Yes.
premiere?
Yep. That's right. Did anyone ask me, and I didn't answer it, but the way you guys watch this show is through Apple. Again, it's sort of the Netflix for Apple. iTunes, you need a subscription to Apple Music, which is free for 90 days, so no excuses. It's free to watch the show. So go to iTunes, get an Apple Music subscription, and watch the show with us. You know, it'll be invaluable. And when your 90-day subscription ends, you'll have access to an ungodly addition of more talent. There's some more content that Apple's releasing. There's a show called Carpool Karaoke, among other things that they're working on, documentaries. Plus, you have access to the most kick-ass music platform in the world. It makes Spotify and Pandora and others seem cheap because of having access to just so much music. But so that's how you watch it. There is a free episode if you go to planetoftheapps.com. Episode 1, which was our premiere episode, you could watch that one for free, and hopefully that will hook you. But if you know me, if you're watching this, if you think that this is an interesting interview, go ahead and check it out. Any last questions before I pull the...
I think we're good.
And just so you guys know, I forget if I introduced these guys. These guys all work for a special guest. We have an office in Los Angeles, and we have an office right here in sunny Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. More on that if you watch episode 4 next week. This was episode 50 of Ask Me Anything. Guys, stay tuned, because in future episodes, I will have the ability to dive deeper into my experience on Planet of the Apps. Did I make it through the show? Was I able to, were Damon and I able to successfully get one of the coaches to believe in us? Were we able to raise capital at the end of the show? Some of you may think that we went in with an unfair advantage. I've been doing this for a long time. Damon is a very well-known guy. When those cameras start rolling, it's like ice in the veins. It's very, very difficult, so you guys have to watch to see what happens. I can tell you from what I'm told that our pitch was one of the more interesting and suspenseful ones of the season, but you're going to have to be the judge. Stay tuned for Ask Me Anything. For those of you that are watching this through the Planet of the Apps ecosystem, I do this video series called Ask Me Anything. You guys can watch those videos on YouTube, so check them out. I will see you guys for episode 51. Peace. Guys, if you want to see a trailer of episode 4 with Damon and myself, go ahead and check below in the comments, and we'll go ahead and post the trailer. It gives you a little bit of insider content, if you will, on what the episode is going to be all about. See you guys soon. Peace.